Well, good day, everybody. I wanted to have you come along with me today, and we're going to go do some winter feeding. First of all, we're going to go put out some cubes with the trip hopper, and we'll follow that up with putting out hay. So hook up with me. Let's see what we got in store for us today. So we just drove out of the yard into the pasture, into a little 35-acre trap where I have 8 head of yearling bulls, and I'm putting out a 20% breeder's cube, which is 20% protein feed. It's a large diameter cube, and I'm putting out 4 pounds per animal. And so I've got a camera hooked to the back of the trip hopper, a GoPro camera. That's the view you're seeing there. We're done feeding them, and then we're going to head across the pasture to the next little pasture where I've got some weaned heifers, and I'm going to feed them. So we're going to snake along here to the gate, and we're going to feed these calves. What's that, girls? How y'all doing? This is what's left of my heifer crop this year. I got 6 registered South Pole calves that I'll keep for replacement heifers. 2 of these calves, 1 red and 1 black, are a neighbor's calves that I run with my cattle, and he will probably keep these for replacements. And then 2 calves are 50% South Pole and 50% Black Angus that I won't keep. They're for sale still. So we fed them, and we move on to the next bunch. So let's do a little time lapse here as we run up the road to cube the next set of cows. So we'll leave one pasture, get out on the county road, and we'll go about a mile up the road. This is the county road that I have to move the cattle back and forth across to get to the pasture on both sides. We get up there, and those cows hear that Kubota running, and they know that there's something good in store for them. So I'll just let you watch here while we get to where we're going to put out the cubes. I have the trip hopper set so that each click that you hear delivers 4 pounds of a 20% protein cube. And I'll put out about 80 clicks. 80 times 4 is 320 pounds of cubes. And in this country, these cows need some extra protein. My hay's good quality, probably will test out at 10 to 12% protein. But I like to give these cows a little bit extra so that they will breed back. And my ultimate goal is to continue to do what I've been doing in the past and try to get some winter grass going, particularly clovers, to fix nitrogen into the soil and provide a natural source of fertilizer. And you can see these cows just mob those cubes. Look at them lining up on both sides of those little piles of cubes. And let's just watch them as we drop those cubes, and you can just see their behavior as they go through this process of getting that extra nutrition. And they really, really enjoy this. It's not necessarily good for your pocketbook in that it costs a little bit of money to put out cubes, and certainly our long-term goal is to get away from this. But in the process of getting our pastures where we want them, which will take some time, we gotta dig a little bit deep, because I want my cattle in good shape again, so they'll breed back and continue having cows at a regular 10 to 11 month breeding cycle or calving cycle. So watch what happens as we go here. Spend about $2,000 a month, just a little bit more than $2,000 a month, to buy cubes for these cows, feeding about 110 head plus or minus. And you say, wow, that's a lot, and it is. But if you look at the condition on these cows, for the most part, they're in pretty doggone good condition. They're going to breed back, and they're going to keep their calves coming at an appropriate calving interval. And the only way you can get them bred back is to have them in good shape. And this country's tough on cattle in that there's just no protein in the standing forage that's left. And so you got to feed some hay and some cubes through the winter. Now, I started feeding cubes probably a little bit in November, and then started in earnest in December. So I'll typically feed middle of November to 1st of March. That'll cost me 4 calves if I'm selling them for $2,000 a piece, which is not necessarily the price that I'm selling all of them for. Some of them are more, particularly the registered South Poles, quite a bit more. So it pencils out. It's not perfect. I would like to feed no hay and no cubes, but I've got to get the winter pasture situation solved, and then we can get that done. So we've got that job finished up, and we're going to head back to the house and put out hay. So let's do a little time lapse back to the house. So we got the cubes put out. Now we're going to go crawl on the tractor and unroll some hay. And I put out about 2 rolls of hay a day, plus or minus, depending on how cold it is, how much they're eating. I basically give it to them free choice. Try to make them clean it up relatively well. But again, wasted hay is not waste, as that's what is going to feed the soil and put the microorganisms and the fungi and all the things that nourish the grass in play to produce nutrients for grass growth. And so one thing I want to do is improve every ounce of grass that I can. And the more grass I can grow on this small place, the more cattle I can run. And so it becomes a huge economic benefit to feed the soil via decomposing hay. And that's my feeble attempt to do the best I can not to have to fertilize, which I think is actually doesn't make any money sense. And it seems that I'm able to do pretty good with what I'm doing. So we're going to keep going in that direction. So we're going to load up some hay here and we'll go put it out and we'll show you what we're doing. So I keep a hot wire around my hay patch, and I got a jump wire I got to disconnect and then loosen the reel by a couple notches so I can lift it off the terra post, open the gate, and then we're going to go load 2 rolls of hay and then head up the road again to where the cows are and put that hay out. So ride with me here for just a few minutes. This 3-point hitch mounted hay unroller is just the ticket for getting this hay put out pretty effortlessly. Again, totally 3-point hitch mounted. You back up to the bale. You got to kind of guess and judge your height because every bale is a little bit different. So if you get it off center just a little bit, it wants to not unroll very smoothly, and then you get down to the end of the roll and you'll be super lopsided as you try to unroll it. So I try to learn each bale based on how they're baled. All the hay that I've got in the background there is about the same height, so I know exactly where to set my 3-point, put the spears in, grab it, and away we go. So we're going to run down the road here once I close the gate, and we're going to get some hay put out. looking at this bale on the front and figuring out which way to unroll it. So again, you take your hand and just rub it both directions. This is smooth. I'm not getting stuck on any grass that's sticking out. This way is not. I get stuck, and you can actually see the lay of the grass hadn't been rolled up this way. And so to unroll it, we need to hook onto this side with the tractor. The center of the bale here, we'll grab it, and when we unroll it, it just unrolls just the opposite of the way it was rolled up. So that's just a quick way to make sure you're on the right side. It doesn't matter if you unroll it the other way, it just comes off in clumps and you have to unroll it a lot longer. But that's the way I tell. So hang with me. So I just use a utility knife to cut this netting, and probably a little bit difficult to do one-handed, but I'll do my best. And then you just swap out these blades as soon as they get dull. They're cheap, saves your pocket knife, and does a good job. So I got the netting cut, and now I'll remove it. Kind of hard to do one-handed, but I'll make it work. want to show you where I've already unrolled hay, and there's still some hay here that they're going to eat. But the refuse, the hay that's left after they pick through all this, will really feed this soil. And I want to show you this. This is coastal Bermuda grass hay, and you can see how there's still good green in there. I mean, these cows love this stuff. But the first roll I put out was Johnson grass hay, and it's like candy to them. They much prefer it. And then they'll eat that roll, and then they'll come over here and eat this roll. When we get down to the core of the bale that you see over there, that just doesn't unroll very good when it gets down to that small part. So I just leave it, and they'll tackle that and clean that up. So that's what it's all about. We're feeding cattle, looking at the cows when we feed, just kind of see if there's any issues with any of them. It's a pretty crisp, cool day here. Not terrible, but enough I needed a jacket, and I wanted the heater on in the tractor. But this is what's fun. So any of you have any property and you want to get some cows, there's a lot of little things to do and a lot of things to take care of. But one of the most satisfying things I have in my life, and I just enjoy it and enjoy raising healthy cattle and trying to improve the land. So once again, I thank you for riding along with me. And let's finish up here, and we're going to head back to the house to put the tractor up. We'll do that with a little time lapse here. And so we'll see you next time. I sure appreciate you all watching. Appreciate any new subscribers. I really enjoy the comments and the camaraderie, and I hope that you guys have a wonderful day. Take care. Thanks again.